A lot of times out here, like the world thinking that men out here depressed. Not only we depressed, but we out here deprived of life, like we not really living it up. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. As a guy that going through a divorce, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm living my best life. Hey dog, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm living comfortable and I'm not stressed. I could tell you this right now. I think that a lot of guys do need to find their self if they are getting to a certain point in their life where as though they down on themselves. But you are seeing a lot of guys starting to realize that it is more to life than to just be sitting around in relationships and just catering. Those days are over. Not only they over, I'm not gonna say they over. I'm gonna just say that guys are starting to understand the real value to living. And when you don't understand the value, what it means to live, you gonna struggle out here. You know what I mean? A lot of us out here understanding life now. And a lot of times when you start to understand life better, you understand it better through experiences, age. As you start getting older, you start realizing it start to become more comfortable. You start to understand things a lot more. You start understanding money a lot more. You understand those bills, some bills that never stop.
They're disconnected from their life purpose. Most men aren't depressed, they're disconnected from their life purpose. When a man doesn't know what he's meant to build, his energy turns inward and the mind becomes the enemy. So he calls it anxiety, he calls it burnout, he even calls it stress. But it's none of that. It's misalignment. Discipline isn't punishment, it's the natural byproduct of a man moving in the right direction. When your actions match your nature, the nervous system calms. You stop fighting yourself. A man with a life's task doesn't need motivation. He doesn't need applause and he doesn't need escape. He wakes up heavy because his days have meaning. A man without one drifts, and drifting is dangerous. Because a drifting man is easy to distract, easy to manipulate, and easy to use. This isn't content, it's alignment. If you're done drifting and you're ready to move in a natural direction, to enjoy Rare Talks Discipline Room, men only. Link in my bio, WhatsApp group. Let's get it.
And you know what? I love his message, yo. A lot of times, like if you don't have a purpose, you will straddle the fence and you be like, yo, I don't know what to do with myself. This is why a lot of times a lot of men start to disengage, like they disconnect from society and they have to start to find themselves. They gotta start to get away from like, look, I'm speaking of experience. You do have to get to a point where as though you start to understand that life is not about just catering to people. You have to also find the direction that you need to go in. And I'm talking about the certain direction, meaning that when you wake up every day, like, look, dog, right now it's 5:19. I gotta be to work at 7. Think about that. It's 5:19. I have to be to work at 7. So 6 o'clock, I got from to 6 o'clock to get ready. It takes me not that long to get already took my shower and everything. So all I gotta do is get dressed. So from 6 o'clock to 6:10, I get dressed and I'm out the door by 6:20. And I've been up since 3 o'clock. I went to bed straight early. I don't go to bed that early all the time, but I try to go to bed at a decent time so I can wake up and get stuff done. That's why I had to get to a point in my life where I was like, yo, you are not going to be able to get stuff done out here and think that it's going to be like everything when you have a clock, whereas though you got to be able to get rest, go to work, and still be able to get other side stuff done. Only way you able to get your side stuff done is if you actually set up your time frames right. If you tired, go to bed. I am. I'm gonna tell you right now. I see the lie being told to men: don't sleep. If you don't sleep, you ain't gonna be able to think. That's the biggest lie. I used to think that too. I stay up all day. Next thing you know, you messed up. You can't even think. You realize your brain needs to rest. It has to regenerate itself. It has to rest. Then when you get up, you got a different mindset. That's how I cut my thumb. doing a renovation. I was up at 4:30 in the morning and I worked all the way till 6 o'clock in the evening. That's too long. People say, "Oh, hard work got to get done." Yeah, it got to get done, but it got to get done in a certain timely fashion. And if you can't get it done in that fashion, you got the next day. My problem was my next day felt like it wouldn't come because I needed to get it done all in one day. And you know what happened? That one day put me out of work 4 months. This is why it is a lie. You have to sit your butt down after a certain time and rest. You get off of work, you think you're going to cater. Oh, I want to go to the grocery store. I want to go here. Sometimes you got to say, yo, leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'll let you know when I'm going, but I'm probably not going to go today. And if I can't go today, matter of fact, you go. You go. You don't need me to go. This is the problem today. This is why so many men are starting to feel overcrowded, like their mind. It's like they're going, 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 going. You gotta be able to stop sometimes. You gotta be able to sit your ass down and be able to cope with reality, real life. Real life will be handed to you if you able to understand the time frame. And I'm talking about time frames of knowing that when you get off of work, you have to be able to sit down and be able to regroup. You have to be able to come home, take a shower, relax, unwind, and then if you're gonna do something, you're able to do something in a short fashion. Cannot work your night away. I used to do that too. Get off of work. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get stuff done right after work. You already drained. So you also pushing to get stuff done, but you got to do it in a short time frame, a 2 hour, depending on what time you get home. And me as a truck driver, I get home. Sometimes I can get home around 4:30, and sometimes I can get home around 8. That's a 4 hour difference. That means through that 4 hour difference, I could have had stuff done if I was home by 4 o'clock. But you know what happens if I get home at 8? Nothing. Come home, take a shower, and sit down in front of the TV like you a 300 pounder and relax. You ain't gotta eat. This is why one of the reasons why time management is everything. This is why you sit down and you pack your food. You pack your lunch. You try to eat properly when you at work. That way you're not overspending. You're not doing all these things that's miscellaneous. That when you come home, you eating a big meal at 8 o'clock at night. No, you don't want to do that. That's why you pack your lunch. Look, right now it is 5:24. I started this video, what, at 5:18, 5:19. It is 5:24. At 4 o'clock, I already made my breakfast. I made my breakfast. I fast. So I'm gonna eat my breakfast around maybe about 11 o'clock. I'm gonna eat around 11 o'clock. And then I have my dinner. Or should I say my breakfast is really my lunch. I'm gonna just say that. My dinner, I'm gonna probably eat that around, depending if I get hungry, I'm gonna probably eat that around about 3 o'clock, 3:30. Reason why? I want to be able to still work that off. Work that off. That's my last meal. So I got two breakfast sandwiches, big pack. I got big pack, big pack, big pack, big pack. So I got two breakfast sandwiches that I made. I'll tell you what they are. And this is my crazy breakfast sandwich. I call them a gangster sandwich. Sausage, egg, and cheese with a hash brown on top. I learned that from Wawa. I got that from Wawa. Them sandwiches when I was doing a hash brown. I said, "Oh damn!" So I make it. I make it, and they on bagels, two bagels, or should I say two sandwiches? And then I have for dinner. I got rice. I made this shrimp fried rice. Made it from scratch. Banging ingredients. If y'all want to ever see me how I save money or whatnot, save money on my certain channel and whatnot. That's in my that's LaShawn Major. That's my channel talking about the economy and stuff like that. But if y'all ever want to see anything dealing with food and saving money, how I'm able to save money by cooking a full meal, let me know. inside my message, or you know what I'm talking about. Inside got the comment section. So, and I made salmon. Oh my god, I seasoned that thing up nice. See the salmon and the shrimp fried rice. And it's mixed inside this little bowl thing, and I put inside a little heater thing. So I'm able to eat that before I come home. That way, when I come home, I'm not hungry. If you still hungry, that means you big as hell. You gotta tone it down. You gotta tone it down. You gotta work out. Look at this. Look at this. I don't, you know, man. I don't wanna. Oh my god, which direction you trying to go? I'm go right, or I'm gonna go left, or ah. All right, I don't want to rip a goddamn. You ain't never seen nobody rip a shirt. Look at that. Look, you know what I mean? I'm just saying. And I'm about to work out in a little bit. My gym is right here in the next room, another room. So this is the life of a person that's by themselves. I'm not depressed. I could lie. I ain't depressed. I'm not. I'm not. That's why you say you gotta occupy yourself. You have to do more. In order to understand what it is to live out here, you have to do more. And you cannot. And then this the crazy thing. When I get off of work, I go pick my not every day because my son goes to school a nice distance from here. So his mom takes him to school. But in the midst of him going to school, I talk to my son every morning. That's one. Two, get off of work. On certain days, I go scoop him up, and he's with me every week. He don't miss not seeing his dad or his mom. When he's with me, not with her. When he's with her, not with me. He's with her, no, we stop. But that's just how I go. So I'm a dad. And when people like, I'm not, you're not a full-time dad, but then if I ain't a full-time dad, it's not a full-time mom, man. I don't see this is the thing, man. As guys, we have to set our times up properly. I'm even getting a thing back here, a glass. I'm gonna just say my shorty put me on to a glass calendar, the mark on. So I'm gonna get that, and then I'm gonna put it up in my office, you know, and I'm gonna start making sure I document and I write it on my glass calendar. You know what I mean? I want to start to be more productive, and start handling more because I got a lot of pages. I have a lot of pages. I probably got about 10, maybe about 10. I got a lot going on. All the this morning I done shot some videos for I ain't do none of my cologne videos. That's on my other channel, you know. Major Scent. I just started that not long ago. So I'm about to start up in that. You know, you gotta pick and choose how you do stuff. I used to try to do everything all in one day. You cannot do everything in one day. Cannot do everything in one a day. You can't. You can't. You can't do everything in one day. And what you'll realize when this was a habit I used to have, especially when I was renovating. I used to try to knock out multiple rooms in one day. That was impossible. Problem is, you start moving around, though, eventually come a time you like, dog, you gotta dedicate to one thing only. Get it done. All that stuff. See, people will paint a picture for you out here and have you thinking that you're supposed to operate a certain way, and then you can get all this done all in a matter of time. No, you can't. You gotta do stuff. You gotta it's your way. I don't know if that made sense, goddamn it. But you gotta pull away from certain things that you're doing. If you know you gotta do something, say for instance, I'm just associated with renovating. If you're renovating, you know you have a room you gotta do. First thing you have to do is look at the room, know what you need to do, and start gutting. Gutting first. You have to tackle the first thing first and then move to the next step. The next step might not come to after a couple days. So you gut the room first. Then after you gut the room, then you look at the room and you start to see certain problems. And then what I normally do is sometimes after I gut something, I rethink about what I'm going to do. I draw the room. This is what I do. I draw it and I say, oh, I'm gonna put outlets here. Now I sit on it for a couple days That way, I'm like, okay, because you don't want to just do something, then you regret it. You have to do stuff like that. And then next thing you know, you start tackling it. Next thing you know, after 2 to 3 weeks, you're done. Now you have one full job complete. You're not on multiple things. That's how you have to operate it. But when they talk about men out here depressed, you only depressed if you are not busy doing something productive. You gotta be productive. Have to. That's the only way.
Most men aren't depressed, they're disconnected. You're working, you're showing up, you're doing everything you're supposed to do, but you feel flat, not sad, not hopeless, just off. And that flatness is dangerous because it's quiet. It doesn't look like a crisis, so you don't say anything. You just push through it. But here's the thing, my friend. Depression implies something is wrong inside of you. Disconnection suggests something is wrong with how you're living. Those are two very different problems. And once you see the difference, you can't unsee it. Check out the full episode on my YouTube channel, link in bio. Most men aren't depressed, they're disconnected. You're working, you're showing up, you're doing everything you're supposed to do, but you feel flat, not sad, not hopeless, just off. And that flatness is dangerous because it's quiet. It doesn't look like a crisis, so you don't say anything. You just push through it. But here's the thing, my friend. Depression implies something is wrong inside of you. Disconnection suggests something is wrong with how you're living. Those are two very different problems. And once you see the difference, you can't unsee it. Check out the full episode on my YouTube channel, link in bio. Most men aren't depressed.
And he's right. He's right. Most men really are not depressed. When they disconnect and they actually start to operate differently, you'll realize you're really not thrown off. You're not. You'll realize that you only feel that way because you are not doing nothing productive. Trust and believe me. Y'all be safe out here, yo.